I'm Diana McCullum.
I'm Andrew Rodney.
And this is Fan vs. Fan for The Flash.
Finale.
We don't exist.
Come lay me down. Come heal me now.
Today, I become a god.
Come take this crown. Don't need it anymore.
All right, so on tonight's finale of The Flash, everything's falling apart. Iris is alive. HR has sacrificed himself. Caitlin becomes good? ? Savitar doesn't exist. Maybe he never did. Barry is one with the Speed Force, and the Speed Force is one with him. Let's get into it. Let's talk about pros. All right, so pros of tonight's episode. Diana, what did you like?
I thought the ending was quite lovely. It gave me real, you didn't get this far in Buffy. It gave me real Buffy Season 5 vibes.
Okay.
This is a lot like how Buffy sacrifices, spoilers for Buffy.
Yeah. You can't just drop Buffy spoilers.
It's like a 15-year-old show now.
Yeah, no, you're legit. You're in the safe. You're good. You're good.
No, just a real nice, tearful goodbye with everyone. I like a hero sacrifice play.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty, classic. It's been done a lot, but I still think it's always nice. Anytime Joe and Barry get to have a moment, I'm like, I'm crying because they're so good.
Right. Yeah, that was a really strong moment. That was a really strong moment between those two. I think they did a smart thing of starting off with the Joe and Barry moment because those are the two strongest performers who play off of each other really well. And then that emotion kind of carried through the tearful goodbyes with everyone else. I feel like in the past the show has made the mistake of being like, let's rev up to the Joe Barry moment because that's where that's where they know how to act. But they did a good job starting with it. That was a really good moment between the two of them. It was tearful, it meant something, and it carried weight and gravitas through the whole scene.
Oh yeah, for sure. So
Yeah.
I thought the sacrifice play ending was quite nice. I didn't see it coming. Once Savitar was dead, I'm like, where's this going? And it did make sense. The prison did need someone, as they said.
Right.
So I wasn't like, that doesn't make sense. I like things that make sense, unlike most of the rest of this episode.
Yeah. We're going to have a lot of things to get to in the cons section because, why wasn't that just Savitar? A lot of questions there.
What about your pro?
I mean, I think that might be one of the few, maybe only things that I have for this episode, which was that goodbye.
I have my other pros are so tiny. I'm like, I was happy to see Gypsy, but she didn't do much.
Yeah, I was super happy to see Gypsy. Great character, really great popping in. She uses her powers in a cool way. The fact that she came in vertically and then left horizontally with that parallel to the floor portal that she then pulls Cisco over garbage cans to fall into. How she executes them and how they show them visually is sharp.
She's so much cooler than Cisco.
Yeah.
Cisco could be that cool, but he has to science and doesn't have time to train. And she's like, all I do is train with portals, and I'm like, it shows, and you are great at it.
Yeah. And a couple of small things too, if we are going to go small things, which I think we might have to. There was the moment when the beam is leaving Star Labs and shooting up into the sky, and they all have to run out of Star Labs. When Barry grabs Iris and they're running out, just that shot of him jumping over a thing with Iris, and you think it's going to end with a fall or a moment, but he just hits the ground running, and the camera carries through the scene with that. Which is something we brought up either last episode or the episode prior. They've been doing new and more interesting things now with
Speed Force running.
Yeah, because it's not just one thing anymore. It's not when he runs at faster than light or as fast as light. It's not just either everything's in slow motion or it's a bunch of blurs. They're now bleeding these effects using different camera angles during the effect, changing techniques. It just makes it much more visually dynamic and engaging. It was cool. It was cool to watch. They're coming up with fun, new, cool ways to make it look neat.
I agree. I thought that was cool. I liked 3 Speedster versus Savitar at the end.
That did feel kind of epic. Having everyone all there was pretty epic.
Where was Jesse? We'll go into cons a little later, but. Yeah, there was that's the kind of stuff you really want in the Flash. Super bad. It was kind of short for me, But it was still like 3 speedsters chasing Savitar. Still a really nice sequence.
Yeah, it was a little short. That could definitely be a con, but I think I'm still going to put it into a pro. The fact that it even happened at all. It felt big, it felt large, it felt bombastic. It was exactly everything that you want from this show, from any superhero show really, which is just kind of like these big, fun, wild set pieces where there's a supervillain that's an incredible obstacle. How are we going to overcome it? Teamwork and other superpowered heroes, and bring Wally in and bringing in
Gypsy,
and other HR.
Or I guess he's just Wells on Earth 2.
Yeah. Jay and Jay as well. Jay Garrick. Yeah.
Jay didn't get to do much either, but Jay.
Yeah, it was great having them all in one place.
I love Jay.
Yeah. Will, what do we have going on in the chat?
Lots of action in the chat tonight.
Lots of action in the chat tonight.
Eclipse GG and Jake Squilla very, very, very sad about HR.
Eclipse GG and Jake Squilla sad about HR.
It was his favorite character.
I loved HR. I loved this version of HR.
I was very mad on this version of HR. I'm really excited for Earth 2 Harry to actually be back.
I was getting jazzed up because like I did really like the relationship between him and Tracy.
It was nice.
They had sincere chemistry that played off of it really well. I'm not super looking forward to the potential of next season of having that other HR back if Tracy's still going to be around, which I want Tracy to still be around because she's a cool and awesome character. But we've already kind of done this. We've already done the "You Are Not the Wells That I Know" storyline with Barry, so I don't really look forward to re-experiencing it with Tracy. So I have a few concerns in that regard, but I was sad that HR left. I'm not that sad because we're still have Tom Cavanaugh on the show.
We still have Tom Cavanaugh.
If it was a hard goodbye to an actor and character, it would hurt a little more.
It's so much easier to handle this way. It was a nice sacrifice play. I love characters dying in their own storyline, for their own good and for their own redemption.
Right.
Like he willfully died, I guess, which is a little sad.
Yeah.
I want to throw this out early. What the heck did HR say to Barry as he was dying? We both missed it and couldn't understand. It's just sounded like a mouthful of potatoes.
So I couldn't figure out. Yeah. When Barry had this moment of like, Cisco, he told me to say to you, and then it cuts to HR, and I just hear as just wet potatoes fall out of his mouth. I have no idea. Why
were you eating potatoes as you
died?
Why
Tom Cavanaugh?
In your mouth?
You had your union mandated break at the wrong time. He's just coming back from the craft services table. Anyway, let's do it, guys.
Let's do this death scene.
No, it's not too much potatoes.
maybe
it'll be swallowed by the time we start. It was really hard to tell what there was.
I won't really miss HR. I'm really glad for Earth 2 Harry back.
But I
would miss Tom Cavanaugh.
Yeah, I'm with you folks in the chats, though. It is sad that HR. What else we got going on?
Daniel Fleming saying Cisco gave him courage, Cisco gave him strength, something like that. I think they.
Okay, Sir Titan and Daniel Fleming clearing it up, saying Cisco gave him courage, Cisco gave him strength.
Okay, I like that they also weren't sure. Thanks, guys. I'm glad we weren't the only ones who were like potato mouth.
Yeah.
Some more pros from the chat.
Sure.
I am Krista saying she loved how Barry was so confident about giving up his life and sacrificing himself for the sake of everyone else.
I'm definitely with that. So I am Krista.
Yeah.
I am Krista. Hey, what's up? I am Krista. I'm definitely with you. That was a big pro for me. Barry's confidence in sacrificing himself. It wasn't a lot of hemming and hawing. It wasn't a lot of like, no, you can't. It was him just like, guys, I got this. I kind of saw this coming. I was a little bit prepared. Let's do the thing.
Also, people are literally dying right there. So I gotta go. Yeah. Like, it's not like one of those, like, maybe people will die if I go in there. It's like, they're dead. Every second we say goodbye, 8 more people die.
I loved the casual confidence of that.
No, I like the casual confidence of that. I like that Barry really was a hero this episode in that moment and in the... I didn't really like the sequence of trying to save older Barry, but I did like the idea that Barry wanted to talk to him and not fight him. That's very heroic and very Flash.
That's very classic Barry.
Yeah.
Classic Barry, right there.
As much as I didn't think he deserved saving, because he had just killed HR.
It was too fresh. In all honesty, I think we should have had that reveal in the previous episode. It would feel a little bit less rushed. Because I was sad that HR... I know that you weren't attached to that character the way that I was, but it was, I was sad that HR died, and it was still, I think, weird and clunky in the aspect of the show that everyone just kind of immediately forgot and forgave, like within the same day.
Except for Tracy, who's like the newest character.
Yeah, and Tracy was like, anyway, if you'll need me, I'll be in a different room, not speaking for the rest of this episode, so that we can move forward with this this very easy wrap-up. I think that, we have one more thing going on?
Desmond Noah?
Desmond Noah?
He's just saying what most of the chat is saying. Why, Barry? Why? You just got Iris back.
Yeah. There's Desmond Noah saying, "Why did Barry have to do this? Why Barry?" And we're asking the same question because I think it's the same question we've been saying all season, which is that there are much easier ways to solve these problems. I think that bridges us well. Let's get into it. Let's switch it over. Let's talk about cons. All right. So cons for tonight's episode. Diana, what didn't you like?
A good chunk of it.
Yeah.
But I didn't really have a lot of hate for this episode, but for a finale, it was pretty meh.
It was a surprising amount of filler and storylines that didn't go anywhere and off-screen stuff for a finale.
Yeah, I guess it was building, I guess, with each person joining to fight Savitar, but, like, he didn't seem to be he was getting weaker as he went. Like, we knew the Paradox was going to catch up to him, so I wasn't worried. I was like, we can just wait this out.
Yeah.
We're going to be fine.
And there were so many...
There wasn't a lot of tension.
And it wasn't threaded well. Like, you say that, like, it's all leading up to, like, this big team battle at the end, but it never felt like it was leading up to that. Like, Cisco was captured, but captured, we'll say. The man whose power is to teleport to any dimension, Earth, place whatsoever was captured by Killer Frost and Savitar politely asking him to be captured. That was the most civilized kidnapping I've ever seen. You're coming with us. Well, you got me there.
And then he's like, and you're with us, and if you try to leave, I'm going to kill Caitlin. By the way, I'm going to leave you both alone for several hours.
Yeah,
don't
a long
go
time,
anywhere.
Long time. Don't. So it didn't feel like it was building because all of these paths were not leading to the same direction. It wasn't the kind of season finale where I'm like, this all leads one place, and that's a big, powerful, cool place. It's just Gypsy just kind of popped in and was like, you're in trouble. And I'm like, she's cool, she's awesome, great to see her. There was no build to that. We got Earth 2 Wells showing up, and he's like, I'm here. Cool. Huh?
Why? And then
Julian showing up and being like, hey,
I'm
off
here.
screen, I made an antidote with Caitlin's mom. Here's a vial. Bye. And him just go, huh? What? It did not really. And Wally, I think, had like 2 lines.
Yeah, Wally didn't do much.
And Jay coming out of nowhere and be like, this has been coming for a long time. I'm like, you got a revenge plot, but that hasn't been building at all. It seems like a lot of elements that are these big, cool elements came out of nowhere because they didn't know how to get us there.
Well, also because this season was all about Iris dying, saving Iris. But that happened last episode.
Yeah.
So this episode being about Savitar entering every point in time, like, I know that's not going to happen.
Right.
Like, that's so unattainable, but killing Iris, very attainable.
Very attainable.
So it lost all tension and concern within the episode.
Because
like,
it's a new goal out of nowhere.
out of
it was
nowhere.
Savitar being like, I'm going to become one with time. All right, but that's not what we spent a year being afraid of
That's
now.
not anything I'm concerned about.
This is a new thing that you're just kind of like,
And he doesn't
you're just
even know-
improv-ing your way through this episode, Savitar, and it doesn't really feel that powerful when you spend a year on a big plan. It doesn't work out, and you're like, all right, let me hear some ideas from the crowd. Give me an occupation.
There's
like,
no wrong answers
I don't
in
want you to
improv.
whose line is it anyway this episode, Savitar. I want to see the big plan that you've planned out.
Yeah, and when your big plan is also like, I'm not good enough at science to do this thing. I hope Cisco doesn't screw it up for me. Like,
Yeah.
of course he didn't build you the thingy.
Yeah, it just makes perfect sense. He didn't really do the thing.
And also the things that were revealed weren't built up to. Like, it's not like we spent all season wondering how we're going to get Jay out of prison. Jay
Yeah.
just comes out and we're like, oh, we kind of forgot that was a thing. But good. I'm glad he's here.
Yeah.
But, like, if there'd been concern about that, like, if we beat Savitar, we never save Jay or something like that. It wasn't anything that was
Right.
brought up. Yeah, there was just no tension built through any of this episode
No.
about anything.
No, not at all. And even if they had to like raise the stakes to be, because now at this point they've saved Iris, so really it's just kind of a general wrap up of a bunch of random events. But once they saved Iris and he's about to cease to exist, then it could be the problem of, like, we need to get him into the Speed Force in order to save Jay. That could be the deadline now that you need to operate on. Before he fades away into nothing,
We gotta
need to
get him back into the cell
We
so
still
we
need
can
to
get
figure
Jay
out how
out.
to shoot him into the Speed Force to get Jay back. But those things weren't threaded. And then Jay just kind of got himself out and was like, hey, don't worry about it. Just a lot of random quick wrap-ups. The Julian...
Caitlyn just fixes herself.
What?
Just like she just suddenly had a change of heart and her eyes went back, but she didn't take the serum.
And this whole season has been about Julian and Caitlyn's love story. And to have that wrap up with Julian meeting her mom off screen to get a sample of her DNA to come up with an antidote to give to Cisco, for Cisco to throw at her, for her to not take, for them to not have a scene together about the fact that they're in love, and it's what the whole season's been about. Really weird that you did not have these two characters on screen together.
Caitlyn unevils for Cisco, not for Julie and her love interest.
Not
that
for
I don't
love.
think Caitlyn and Cisco aren't friends and like really care about each other, but
Yeah.
that's not where any of this season was going.
No, and this whole middle of the episode story with future Barry given the chance of redemption, and then he leaves Star Labs and he's like, nah, that was just a goof. Well, then why were we there this whole... He didn't really get any new information or any necessities
No,
from
he
Star
just
Labs.
planted a little bomb and tried to kill them.
Yeah, it was just kind of a weirdly long time to have a nowhere goof story for him to then just like, yeah, just so many quick turns that came out of nowhere in this episode that it was just really disappointing. A season finale needs to be where all of the threads come together, not where you unravel them and start trying to sew a new sweater.
Yeah.
You
There's
know,
just
like
a tiny little
that's not how
sweater
it
of
works.
an episode. I'm
Yeah.
still cold.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big enough sweater.
What do we have going on in the chat room, Will?
Elios Sakya getting to the point saying the Speed Force is a dick.
Elio Sakia saying the Speed Force is a dick, and I 100% agree. The Speed Force is a dick. What's your deal, Speed Force? You didn't have people trapped in there before these speedsters. Like, what is your thing?
Well, no, Savitar had been there for thousands of years.
Thousands?
Yes.
Okay.
But I'm confused about why the Speed Force really likes Barry, but is a dick to Jay and Wally. Because they got hell prisons, but Barry gets this nice prison.
He gets a nice prison?
Yeah, because the Speed Force was like, he's not going to hell. We're going to be nice to him.
Oh, okay.
Because he gets to see his mom and
So
stuff.
Speed
But-
Force likes Barry.
Yeah, but they don't like Jay or Wally. That's rude. Those are heroes.
I don't know. I don't know why the Speed Force is just a jerk. Puts
They're
two
being-
speedsters in hell. Doesn't come and grab Savitar.
Yeah, if the Speed Force can just do shit, just like be like, no.
Just do stuff.
No, Savitar.
Oh, and I even forgot, Black Flash was killed in this episode?
Oh, yeah, but they also...
Hunter Zolomon was frozen to death? An ethereal spirit of the demon of death
Yeah.
for speedsters?
Yeah, speed
was,
energy just freezes.
you know how sometimes a speedster zombie demon is frozen to death as a one-off scene with no impact? He was a villain on Legends. On Legends of Tomorrow, he was a villain. He's been a looming threat on The Flash. And Caitlyn was like, you're a little cold. And then now, suddenly, the speedster that hunts death for all eternity just
Yeah,
isn't...
now there's no Black
what?
Flash now.
No.
I guess. That or he, like, was just destroyed in the minute, and now he can come back.
can come back, maybe?
I don't know. The Speed Force... The
What are
Speed
you
Force
doing,
is this
Speed
weird
Force?
bag of dicks that you can just pull anything out of.
And they're all bad.
They're no good dicks
And
in there.
there's none of them are good. No, not right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, none of it's
You don't never know what you're gonna
just
get.
a bad bushel.
Just a bad bundle.
What do we got going on in the chat, Will?
Sir Titan has a con. He
What's
didn't
up,
like
Sir Titan?
He didn't like Iris killing someone when she's always like, Barry, don't kill people.
Okay. So Sir Titan not liking that Iris killed people, and I kind of agree with that. Like, I thought it was gonna be Joe.
I thought Patty had come back.
Yep,
Patty
yeah.
loves shooting people.
I mean, you're hoping for the stars
I'm
there.
always hoping for
You're
Patty.
you're really reaching for the stars there. It was weird that Iris killed him because, again, another out of nowhere arc. This whole season and story hasn't been Iris coming to terms with doing dark things or anything like that. So it just seems like a weird random character beat for her to have that. I don't know what, if any, meaning there was. I feel like it could have easily been Joe or anyone. Like, this could have been a Who Shot Mr. Burns. If they had just shown Maggie do it, I'd be like, sure. It doesn't matter, I think, who shot him.
I would say that I don't think she even really did kill him. I think she shot him. That could have been just like a shoulder wound, though. He was dissolved into the Speed Force immediately afterwards.
She didn't kill
killing someone who's gonna die in a second is fine.
Yeah. Shoot him up. She's just trying to delay him from getting to Barry.
Yeah, she was just trying to slow him down. Also, speedsters heal so fast. I don't think you can kill one with a bullet anywhere but the head.
Yeah, that seems right.
So,
that seems right.
I'm going to say she didn't kill Barry.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Ruled.
But also, why was that even there?
I think they just wanted the fun play around of, I got to save you.
I got you.
Iris.
What else we got going on, Will?
The Finest X04 says, why didn't Jay just go back into the Speed Force? There's really no need for him.
Yeah, so the Finest X04 saying, why didn't Jay go back in the Speed Force prison?
Jay gets
I guess
a
he was
hell
tired
prison.
of it.
No,
yeah,
Jay gets a hell prison.
Jay
if
gets
he
a hell
goes.
prison.
Barry gets a nice prison.
That's one of the reasons. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't come up with a better solution for that in any regard.
Mm-hmm.
There are evil speedsters out there. They could have gone back in time and gotten any other evil speedster.
There was a time limit of people dying. They were very clearly currently dying.
Yeah, there's a time limit of people dying, but also the Speed Force exists in all of time, everywhere and nowhere simultaneously. And if you can time travel, you could just go back to before when people died and feed a person into the Speed Force. There's a lot of stuff where the show doesn't have a solid set of rules per se to follow.
Wait a minute.
Right?
Do they break the rules?
They don't have them, so you can't break them.
Oh, no.
It's really more just a set of loose guidelines and thoughts after seeing Back to the Future once. I'm pretty sure is what they're basing most of the time travel of this show.
Did they even see all the Back to the Future?
No, they did
just
not.
The first one.
They saw one of them on television with some commercial break edits, and they had a small nap. And those are the time travel rules they've set up for this television show.
And then they were like, when you change time, you just fade away slowly in photos.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
How it works.
That's all we need to know. And that's it.
Viper with a quick theory, he says, what
Viper?
about the Accelerated Man taking Barry's place in the Speed Force at some point?
He was Gypsy's Flash.
Right.
So the Accelerated Man, Gypsy has a Flash on her world called the Accelerated Man. We saw him very briefly in one of her episodes.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like a jerk move to just throw a stranger into the Speed Force prison.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely find a bad Flash out there somewhere that you could have thrown into it.
I don't think he's evil.
Oh,
Or is
okay.
he?
Well, find a
Maybe.
Hunter from the back. There's a bad speedster on one of these Earths.
There is, but he didn't have one at the moment.
Nah.
And the Speed Force is like, Barry, get over here, Barry.
All right,
Barry, over here.
Get over here. Let's move on. Let's switch it up. Let's talk about Easter eggs. All right, so Easter eggs in tonight's episode. Diana, what did you find?
Not too many in this episode. The main one I'm going to talk about is, so Savitar Barry says, we use this machine to stop DeVoe.
Uh-huh.
And so DeVoe was mentioned in the other episode where Barry went to the future.
Okay.
So DeVoe is the name of the villain, the Thinker. These two name drops make me think he's going to be the main villain for next season now.
Okay.
So, which will be nice, a non-speedster villain.
Okay, what's his deal? What's the Thinker?
Yes.
The Thinker. What's the Thinker's deal?
I can't remember that well right now.
Okay, I don't know anything about the Thinker. This is a new one to me, so I was really counting on you on that one.
All right, well, I thought I was going to remember from last episode when we talked about it.
Hot dang. We have a wiener.
I think he was a magician who got superpowers from the Speed Force.
Let's go with that. That's what it is now. What else do we got in terms of Easter eggs on tonight's episode?
Not too much else. I thought it was really great when Cisco called Savitar Two-Face, because as we know, that is a DC villain.
Oh, okay.
That is the DC Batman villain that we know and
Mm-hmm.
love, Harvey Dent. Which I'm like, so does that mean there's a Two-Face villain out there somewhere in your Batman world?
Well, in that future newspaper, there is a Wayne Tech article. There's an article about Wayne Tech.
Weird that they can mention those things, but not.
Yeah, I
have a
guess.
Batman.
I guess maybe they can't say Bruce Wayne,
But
they can say
it could
Wayne
be,
Tech.
That could be any Wayne.
Be like, yeah. We can bring up a Wayne.
That could be Lil Wayne, the rapper.
It could have been any of them.
It could be any Wayne.
It could have been other Waynes. Don't worry about it, guys. It could have been a Wayne.
But yeah, it was a pretty Easter egg low episode, considering finale usually brings in some bigger stuff.
I get you.
We all know what the Speed Force is. We all know who everyone who showed up is.
Yeah, everything's clear other than where Jesse is.
That was Oh, where was Jesse?
Where was Jesse?
Everybody else got
Where
to
was
be in this
Jesse?
finale.
Where was
Savitar
Jesse?
said he had plans for her, and he is a liar.
Yeah, that was one of the big setups. One of the big setups earlier this season was Savitar saying, "I have plans for you," and then just Jesse was just like, "Anyway, I'm gonna go be Flash on Earth 3. Bye."
Bye. And then she
Never to
came
be
back.
seen again. What is going on?
Rude.
Very rude. What do we have going on in the chat? Will?
Daniel Fleming and Sir Titan pointing out that there might have been some Easter eggs in the Speed Force storm, some of the lightning bolt colors.
Oh, Daniel
Oh.
Fleming and Sir Titan talking about the lightning colors. Yeah, that was a real rainbow of lightning that was going on there. I feel like there's something to that.
Yes, I've mentioned before that I'm never one to analyze the colors, although I respect people that do. I do
Right.
know that they hide little hints in there, like you can
Right.
tell which speedster it is by the color.
Okay.
I'm a little lazy and I've never memorized what each of them is. Like Zoom was blue. That's about it.
Yeah. Zoom was blue. It seems like any evil is blue. Like, even they had that fun moment in tonight's episode where I actually forgot to mention this during the pros, when Barry vibrates into the
that was
armor,
nice.
knocking the other Barry out. I'm like, it makes no sense, but it's fun. And that's what this show should be doing more of. Like, moments where I just go, oh, it makes no sense, but it's fun. I want to be that person. But instead I'm like, this doesn't make any sense for most of it. But that armor thing was a lot of fun. And that was a
Was.
blue to red transition
That
as
was
well.
a lot of fun. I actually was really worried that Barry was going to merge with future Barry, and that's what the phasing was going to
okay,
do. And then
okay.
he'd be like half evil, half good Barry.
I see what you're saying.
And they'd have like an internal war.
Okay. Yeah,
But
I
they
think
didn't
all of
do
the
that.
evil speedsters are like blue lightning. So I think Zoom,
I think Reverse was
Future
yellow.
Barry, Reverse was yellow?
I think he was.
Really?
But I
Okay.
did not. But I don't analyze the colors. as I
Reverse
said.
was yellow. I don't know what Wally has going on, and I don't know what Jessie has going on because she wasn't here for what reason. I don't know.
We missed you, Jesse.
We miss you, Jessie.
Speaking of Wally, Ailey Osaka pointing out that Wally replacing Barry as the Flash after he sacrifices himself is kind of Wally's original setup.
Oh yeah, that was from Ailey Osaka. Ailey Osaka saying that this is kind of Wally's original comic book setup, replacing Barry after Barry's gone.
Yeah, in Crisis on Infinite Earths original comic books, Barry sacrifices himself to stop the Monitor, the guy with the thing.
Okay.
And then that is when Kid Flash becomes
Comes
the
Flash.
Flash for the first time. This is actually Wally's becoming Flash story. I don't think
dig
it's
it.
going to be Flash much in next season, but I think we're going to open with him as Flash for sure.
I at least hope that we're going to open next season with the implication that in the time between seasons, he's been Flash a while in this city. Like, I don't-
classic.
Yeah, I don't want next season to open with the implication that, like, a day has passed and Barry's back. I want it to be like 8 months has gone by. Wally is the Flash.
When do you think the next season starts?
I don't know.
It's not 8
Not 8
months.
months. Not 8 months. Make it 8 months. Make it 2 years. I don't need to follow real world timeline. I just want Wally to have been the Flash for a while.
I get that. I want that too.
And the Not 131 talking about the Thinker. He's a super genius who turns himself into AI, and he's better known for organizing villains into one.
Okay, so Not 131, reminding us that the Thinker is a super genius who turns into an AI who mainly organizes other villains.
I think I confuse him with the Calculator a lot.
Okay. I'm going to assume they calculate, probably.
They're the very same. They also organize and things
Right,
like that.
they do things
He
like
used to
that.
actually wear a calculator costume, which was hilarious.
Embarrassing. Let's talk about what we think is going to be happening next season. So we're talking about the Thinker is probably going to be the big bad for next season. I just need them to ease up off the time travel because they don't know how to write it. That's going to be my big thing.
It is bothersome.
Yeah.
They've never done a great job with it. I
No.
think they were very easy with it the first few seasons. They only used it sparingly, but now it's gotten too much.
Way too much,
So
yeah.
I definitely would love a season with genuinely no time travel.
No time
Just-
travel at all.
Just like
Not
leave
even
that
an
to
implication,
Legends,
not
leave that to
a
Legends.
one of the no remnants,
Oh, no remnants.
wraiths, no demons,
He's
no
just-
force, no travel.
He's
He's
just-
back, baby, and he runs quick.
He's a fast guy who throws lightning and can phase through things, and that's enough for me.
That's all we've been tuning
all
in
I
for.
want.
That's all we've been tuning in for is our little friend Bear running good.
And then sometimes there's a grill and sometimes there's a king shark, and I'm like, sweet. That's all I want.
Yeah.
I don't want time travel.
Yeah.
I do like multiple Earths. which
Yeah.
we can still have via Cisco.
Cool
So
with multiple Earths.
multiple Earths are just as fun as time travel.
Yeah.
Everything you want to do with time travel, you can do with a different Earth.
Mhm.
So
with
just
less
keep-
with less like permanent implications in their
Exactly.
timeline, or as for what this show does, less lack of permanent implications on the timeline because they don't know what's going on.
I
Yeah, more
want-
multiple Earths. So
Yeah,
cool
so
with that.
more Earths, less time travel.
Yeah.
Where I think the show's going, I think it's going to be the classic. We come back. It's been 8 months. Wally's been the Flash. At the very end of the first episode, a portal opens. Barry comes back out, and it's all just status quo, probably.
I'm willing to bet the big question at the end, like at the first season, the first episode of next season, the big question is going to be, did the right Barry come back? Is this the Barry? How long was he in there? Because
Did he become
the Speed
Savitar?
Force is so different. I feel like there's going to be that air of mystery of being like, yeah, Barry's back, but it doesn't feel like our Barry, does it? Like, I think there's going to be a question of distrust. Who is this Barry? Has he returned to us differently? I think that's going to be one of the big mysteries of next season, where maybe, and I don't necessarily want this, because like I said earlier, I want more stuff where I'm like, that makes no sense, but it's fun. I think maybe they're going to go for a storyline like that. We might see like a darker, more brooding Barry, that everyone's worried that they didn't get the right Barry back from the Speed Force. I feel like that might be where they're going, where they're going to open next season with.
I get that. Or Barry just trying to find his will to be a hero again after spending that time in the Speed Force.
That could
something
definitely
like
do it
that.
again. Barry trying to find his will again.
Or he comes back and he's like, oh, I'm not needed anymore. Everyone's working very well without me.
Okay.
That's a pretty classic. That usually only lasts like one episode,
Yeah.
though.
I will say, I also just remembered in this episode, when HR died, it was a real disappointing, missed opportunity for him to, his last words to be "Run, Barry, run." I know it's not the same. I know it's not the same Wells, but when he said his last words were, "You have to go get Savitar," and I'm like, what? I really thought there was going to be a final inspirational
Run, Barry,
sentence.
run.
You have to go get Savitar. And how might a very fast man do that? Run, Barry, run. It just would have
Tom
been...
Cavanaugh was too busy eating that potato. And then he was like, hum.
What else do we got going on in the chat, Will?
Daniel Fleming hoping to see
Hey, Fleming.
Captain Condiment. in
Captain
season 4.
Condiment. That's a deep cut. I don't know that one at all.
Oh, you don't know that one at all?
Oh, wait a minute. Captain does he just have
From
a...
Batman the Animated Series, he's got a ketchup gun and a mustard gun.
That's right. He's just got a condiment gun.
He's just silly.
Okay.
Most people in the chat, though, are predicting that Godspeed is going to show up next season.
Oh, okay. A lot of people in the chat predicting Godspeed next
I
season.
thought Berlanti promised no speedster next season. I thought the
Did he promise that, or
I-
was that just like an optimistic fever dream you had?
No, I was pretty sure Berlanti said in an interview no speedsters next
Okay,
season.
okay.
Except for like the good ones.
I hope for that. I
I'm willing
understand
to
some
be
people
wrong.
thinking Godspeed, but I agree with you. I hope that we don't have a speedster season. I hope just for a grounded, like a grounded rogues gallery. Like, let's stop some people from robbing banks and have a bit of fun again, guys.
Well, for half of this season, we were fighting Dr. Alchemy with no speedster around, and I was quite happy with it.
I was really happy with it. It was a fun,
some
like,
of
kind
the
of mystery and
yeah. Some of the episodes weren't great, but I was like, thank you, a non-speedster villain.
yeah,
And then it was all Savitar.
yeah.
Lauren Waters saying that the presence of the Thinker might support that because he's all about organizing rogues to go against them.
Right. Who was it who was saying that?
Lauren Waters.
Lauren Waters. Hey, Lauren Waters saying that the presence of the Thinker might imply a rogues gallery, and I really hope that's the case.
Yeah, I like
I would love to see like a collection, like a collected rogues gallery, like a Sinister Six and a Justice League or whatever you want to call this, like
They're
a
just called the
masterminded
rogues
person.
in the Flash fandom.
Yeah, but like even when they're all working together, it's
They're
still
just
just like
the
the
rogues.
rogues. Oh, okay. All right. Well, then a collection of the rogues
yeah,
working together.
That many haven't been collected. I think Captain Cold, Heatwave, and Golden Glider were like the most rogues we've ever had work
Right,
together.
right.
So like a big organization, and then like working down the mystery of who's doing it and why. Fun
Yeah.
season. Be a fun season.
I think it would be a big, fun, practical season to be like, what we got flashback, but what happens if we organize 7 bank robberies simultaneously? He's the fastest man alive, but he can't be everywhere at once, and like that kind of thing. I'm like, that's a practical challenge. It's organized, it's fun, and it doesn't involve me trying to figure out what time travel BS that you just came up with. Yeah.
I can't wait.
I
It's
can't.
gonna
yeah.
be exciting.
I'm
No time travel, no
cautiously optimistic.
speedsters.
No time. That's a weird thing to say about
No time travel,
about a
no
show
speedsters.
where the lead character is a time traveling speedster. We hope not for that next season. That doesn't make sense, but it's fun. That's what I'm looking for. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching Fan Be Fan, for joining us this whole season of our live after show. We appreciate you being here with us, joining in on the live chat, liking and commenting on the video. We love it so much. We love the interaction between us, and we wouldn't be doing this if you weren't here. So thank you.
Thank you all for coming. We'll be back. Well,
We'll be
Flash
back next
is done.
season. Yeah.
We'll be back. And you want more great content from Dorkshelf? They don't just do Fan Be Fan.
Yeah.
Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Follow Dorkshelf on Twitter @Dorkshelf.
Yeah, be sure to click subscribe below if you haven't already. Follow Dorkshelf on Twitter. And during the summer as well, if you want more of Diane and I talking about, nerdy products, be sure to subscribe to our podcast, Talk from Superheroes. Talk from Superheroes is a weekly podcast where we discuss a superhero, television, or film every single week. So it's
single
like
week.
this, but with different properties.
And in your ears.
You want to hear us talk about Wonder Woman? We'll be doing that soon. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for being part of it. I'm Andrew Rodney.
I'm Diana McCallum.
Take care.
Kicked him out.